Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. All right, there you go. There you go. Good. Perfect. All right. As always, I'll edit this part out. 3, 2, 1. And welcome to Hamza's Corner. As you can see, we've changed the place around a little bit. We got a little bit more professional. And today's guest is Eddie Escobar. Eddie, come on down. Welcome, welcome. As you can see here, my esteemed colleague joining me for the first edition of the 2022 Hamza's Corner. As always, Mr. Eddie Escobar. Eddie, what do you have to say for yourself about being the first guest of the year for something that's been off air now for over a year?
I guess it's fitting since I was the first loser going into the playoffs. So I guess it all works out.
I guess. It's almost like there's a method to my madness.
I guess. Hopefully that method applied to your fantasy team and the way they played.
We both had pretty big years here. We as you can see, I mean, I know you got married this year, I got married this year. We had some big years ahead of us, right? Like, I had other things to worry about in the beginning of the season versus doing, fantasy football research.
Yeah, that's very true.
And I was waiting for you to comment about my suit. This is a new suit. I got it. It's inspired by the suit that you wore to my wedding, like the red checkers there.
Oh yeah, I forgot what I wore to your wedding. I forgot it was the red jacket.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's get started. Let's start talking about the playoff picture and what maybe we can get started talking about the playoff picture, what it looks like, who is on the fringe, what essentially has happened. So you got the Stizzly Bears, you got Fake Meat, 9-2, 8-3, both with byes, and then you have Tom, Joe B, Tim, and the Hood Rats, all in the playoffs, all playing this week. Then you have an outlier. You guys all had the same record, but 5-person tie, and you didn't make it in. What do you think? What do you think was your downfall?
I mean, it's those 30 points. That's what it comes down to. Injuries early in the year, and just not making the right starts, and just people not showing up to play, pretty much. And just honestly, it was just bad drafting on my end this year. Bad pickups.
Do you have any regrets?
Waivers.
Do you have any regrets about not keeping certain players or keeping players or?
Yeah, Saquon Barkley's one. He's one that I was secretly hoping to get injured so that way Caston would be stuck with him. But because I'd rather him do poorly on my team than do better on someone else's team. So that's just me being selfish. But yeah, Saquon Barkley, getting rid of him was a big mistake.
Who would have predicted? He's like every other
Saquon,
year.
if you're out there, we miss you, buddy. Come back home.
I know there was some comments earlier on in the season about feeling like Caston drafted your old team, and the Ian's finding himself at 8-3. How does that make?
That's essentially all he did. He just drafted my team, and he says, "Oh, I guess this is what works. I'll just do that." And then he wastes all his time to do all these picks and all these projections and these charts and graphs, and he makes these inside calls, and it never works out for him.
How did your team do last year, by the way?
Well, we're still the defending champs. Not so much anymore, but we won it all.
Yeah, last year you won it all, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you should know that.
And he decided to emulate that. I was setting you up there. Last team, your team won. Caston emulated your team. God.
And here I am thinking it's just poor hosting.
Anywho, in other news, so let's talk a little bit about the matchups right now. So we have let's talk about the bracket that actually matters, right? So you got Sam versus Matt and me versus you. So
Me versus you. You might beat me. On your
I
sole
think,
win this year, you're projected to win right now by almost 10 points.
I think anything could happen. Any given Sunday, right? A team can show up. A team can go to sleep. My team has been synonymous for hitting the snooze button and just not showing up. But at the end of the day, you are my only win. If there was ever a time that I was going to win and not have to play for the Ian, I'm glad that I'm playing against you. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Let's
I'd
just
rather
say
play
that.
against you than Matt or Sam right now.
Yeah.
At least in the first round. So.
Yeah, I mean, especially since both teams are kind of coming in hot.
Yeah.
Sam had a pretty big week last week. Finally, looking at his team, his projected leaders are Tom Brady and Marcus Mariota. So I don't know how well he's going to fare this week, but he certainly did outperform you, as did Matt.
Yeah, Sam's team has been surprising. I've seen a couple members of his team actually step up, and his running back and I believe his wide receiving game are starting to. They started a little too late, but they started to actually perform in the second half of the season. There was actually a worry at one point that he was going to make a run and make it to the playoffs, and that would have been a Cinderella story to see. But you know what? We didn't see it at the end of the day. So
let's not forget lucky number 7, Mr. Young Ho Koo, his kicker out of Atlanta.
Is that his other high?
That's his sleeper right there. That's the ace in the hole that he's got is Young Ho Koo.
Well, Sam showed up. He came in, and actually this fits where I'm going with this when we talk about the two guys with buys. As
Who's
far
bye?
as Steve, the two Steve and Captain.
I always knew Brian was. I always knew they were. They looked at each other.
I mean, it was news to me, but
show me a bi man, I'll show you a gay dude in denial.
This gets posted, right? This is going out in public. Just be careful what you're saying.
Leave it in.
But leave it in. I'm not cutting it.
Leave it in.
As far as Sam, he had a pretty big win against Tim, against Steve. He had a pretty good win against Tom, and then against me. Me was kind of the given, but again, you have Steve and Tim and Tom, who he beat. Those are pretty big names there, because I think if Tom doesn't lose Cup, that matchup right now in the upper bracket there, Tom versus Tim, that's going to be the one to watch. I love Joe B. I love the Hood Rats. I love watching them play some football. However, let's be honest, if Cup comes back and he's healthy, at the right time, Tom could be dangerous. And I don't know what the status is right now for Cooper Kupp. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. Taking a look right now, I think. Well, he's on IR, so I think he's out for the season, at least for the remainder of our season. So, with that being said, nothing more we can do. I don't think there's anything that he's gonna provide Tom's team right now, which I think gives Tim the upper echelon. The other thing is Tim has beaten Fake Meat and the Stizzly Bears. So I will just throw this out there as far as Tim. He's being both of the top contenders right now. I think that gives him an upper hand. Fake Meat has lost to Steve before and Tim, and they lost to Hood Rats. So I think Joe B is kind of finding himself the underdog. Joe B loves to be the underdog. Joe B loves to be on bottom. We know that.
He's a power bottom.
He's a power bottom. He loves to be on bottom and come in hot. So That being
Look at how
said,
little I look in my chair.
yeah, what happened?
I'm not sure, but I've been little. I feel like Ant-Man a bit because then I get really close. I'm all like Zordon, and then I shrink, and then I'm just this little guy.
And then you shrink.
It's a technical difficulty, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the team to really be here to win it all, and this is going to sound surprising. I honestly think Tom is dangerous going in. I have my money on him winning it all. And
Okay.
I might be saying that a little too early before looking at scores and matchups, as he's not even projected to win his own matchup this week. So yeah, there's that. Maybe Joe looks good.
Predictions never come out. I would like to see a Sizzly Bears and what's Tim's team name? I'd like to see them go at it again. I think that was an interesting matchup. I think they've both put up high points, and their matchup against each other is always very interesting. On another note, Sizzly Bears, I mean, Run CMC joins a new team, comes back. He's operating on all cylinders right now. So I think as far as Christian McCaffrey goes, he's a big asset to the Sizzly Bears, and they kept him. For Tim, if Joe Mixon comes back and starts performing what he should be performing, Tim also finds himself with a dangerous duo between Ramondre Stevenson, who is a surprising back who's come up this year and could help Tim if not just this year, but in years to come. So something to think about.
I swear Tim's team can run a competition for the most unique name, and I good luck kind of judge that one. You got Ramondre, Jamal with 2 A's.
Jamal.
You got Deonta, 4-man, not Freeman, but the 4-man. And then you got Rach Odd White. And then
we've got a guy named Gus.
Jamar Chase.
Rashad White, Jamar Chase.
J.K. Dobbins, as in like, just kidding.
Like,
you thought you were gonna be.
You sound like you're looking for some Aarons and Balakes over there.
Some Balakes. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you better watch yourself, otherwise you're gonna be sent to Oshag Hennessy's office over there.
Oshag Hennessy's.
He's gonna have to give you a little lesson in how to pronounce these names. Well, Eddie, play on words. Let's go ahead and end this. But I will say thank you for joining us for the first of the year, Hamza's Corner. Let's all give him a round of applause, guys. This man right here, Mr. Eddie Escobar. And while you guys aren't noticing, what do you think Eddie's hands are under the table right now? Yeah.